Okay. Are you seeing the screen with the presentation?
Yes, we can.
we see very visible.
Okay, great. So let me reintroduce myself. I am Ahilia Gajada, former president of the SPE, University of the West Indies Student Chapter. It is my pleasure to be presenting to you all today on professional mentorship. So throughout this presentation, I will go through what is mentorship. I'll talk about the mentee as well as the mentor. What are some of the don'ts of mentorship? How to have a successful mentorship experience? How to structure a good mentorship? And then I'll tell you a bit about my experience as a mentor. So to begin, does anyone have an idea of what mentorship is apart from what you've seen on the screen here? Feel free to take off your mic and give feedback. Okay, so Merriam-Webster defines mentorship as the influence, guidance, or direction given by a mentor. Cambridge Dictionary goes a bit more into detail on this by stating that it is the activity of giving a younger or less experienced person help and advice over a period of time, especially at work or school. To the right of the screen, we see a few words that go together with mentorship. Thus, mentorship is about guidance, it is about giving advice, providing support and assistance, knowledge transference, as well as sharing experiences. Any questions so far? Okay. Now I'll move on to the mentee. So the mentee is the person who is receiving the advice and guidance. As a mentee, it is your responsibility to ensure regular contact is kept with your mentor. To determine what you want to gain from your mentor, you have to create a plan that will help you to achieve your goals. You must also be very respectful of your mentor's time and be very receptive to their feedback and coaching. And then lastly, it is your responsibility to make the most of the opportunities that are presented to you by your mentor. So what are some benefits to you as a mentee? Firstly, with a successful mentorship program, you will be able to boost your interpersonal skills, you'll strengthen your knowledge, you will expand your network, establish leadership skills, and you'll be able to gain new perspective. Next, I'll speak a bit about the mentor. So the mentor is the person who is giving the advice and providing support. So the mentor is responsible for sharing applicable information about their background, their skills, and their interests. The mentor must also outline how or in what way they can be of assistance to their mentee. The mentor must be a positive role model to their mentee and aid the mentee in setting educational or career goals. The mentor must also encourage the mentee in a way to build their self-confidence. And lastly, they must educate the mentee on the expectations within the workplace. So what are some of the benefits to the mentor? Because a mentorship is not meant to be solely beneficial just to the mentee. The mentor as well has some benefits to look forward to. So firstly, the mentor gets the opportunity to pay it forward. We would have reached where we are today via the help of others around us. So as a mentor, whoever may have helped you professionally or in school, now you get the chance to return the favor to someone else. Secondly, the mentor will be able to improve their management skills. Having a mentee is a very big responsibility. You have to be able to allocate your time as well as your resources towards ensuring that your mentee gets the best out of you. So you will be improving your management skills via this. Thirdly, you'll get to bridge a generational gap. You, the mentor, may learn something from your younger mentee. They might expose you to new technologies. They might expose you to new way of doing things that you were not previously aware of. They will also help you to improve your interpersonal skills, whereby you now have the opportunity to interact with someone who is younger than you are. And then lastly, you will have a sense of satisfaction and fulfillment via helping out someone else who would have been as you were some time ago when you were bright-eyed and bushy-tailed and waiting for an experience such as this. As with everything, there are things that are distasteful in mentoring. So this slide here lists the don'ts of mentorship from both the side of the mentee as well as the side of the mentor. So what are some things that the mentee is not meant to do? As a mentee, you are not responsible for completing work for the mentor. You are also not responsible for paying the mentor. You are not there to boost your mentor's ego. And lastly, you are not to be disciplined or penalized by the mentor. Now, on the opposite end, what is the mentor not meant to do? Your mentor is there to guide you. They are not there to make decisions.
Hello, Alia.
Hi?
It seems there's a challenge. Are you sharing your screen?
Yes.
We are only having your first slide. We are not seeing the next slide that you're talking about. Okay. Good.
Are you seeing it now?
Yeah, we are okay now, so you can proceed. Thanks.
Okay. Was it like this for the past 3 slides? Do you want me to start over?
Proceed, Alia. We are okay.
Yeah, I
Okay.
think it's okay. So
Right, so I'll leave it as in this screen here so you guys can see, right? I won't put it in full screen mode. Okay, so back to the don'ts of mentorship. So the mentor is not meant to make decisions for the mentee. You as the mentee take the guidance from your mentor and you make your own decisions at the end of the day. Your mentor is not meant to finish your coursework, your projects, or your labs, or any sort of schoolwork. I'm getting some feedback.
Hello.
Hi.
Can we go? Hello, Alia. Can you hold on for a bit? Please, a quick one. When you join, can you make sure you unmute yourself and you are far away from any gadget to prevent every interferences, because we're getting a feedback here. So to all participants, can you let all take note of this? When you join, can you mute yourself and stay away or get away from any gadget, being a TV or any radio around you, to prevent any interferences. Thank you very much. Alia.
Okay, so back to what the mentor is not meant to do. They are not meant to finish your coursework, your projects, your labs, or any sort of schoolwork for you. Thirdly, it is not the responsibility of your mentor to provide you with a job at the end of the mentorship program. Yes, via whatever connections they may have, they can assist you. That depends on your mentor
Hello, Alia. Kindly unmute yourself.
Okay. Let me go back. Let me restart the slide, right?
Okay.
So it is imperative for you to have structure in your mentorship for it to be successful. So to do this, you need to set goals as well as objectives. And these must be SMART. They must be specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, as well as time-bound. So these are some questions that you should ask yourself. Firstly, what does success look like for you? What are the rules and boundaries of the mentorship? What are some activities that you would like to be involved in during this mentorship experience? And then lastly, what is your approach for this mentorship? So to touch on these a bit more, success for everyone looks a bit differently. For example, if you are a shy person, one way for this program to be successful to you would be for you to gain more confidence. If you are someone who does not manage their time well, what success could look like for you is being able to develop those time management skills. In terms of the rules and boundaries of the mentorship, the mentor as well as the mentee need to outline when they are going to meet, during what times during the day they can be contacted, and stuff like that. So what are some activities that you would like to be involved in? So once more, this is something agreed upon by your mentor as well. They wouldn't be able to answer your every request, but some activities might be, say you could have your mentee come shadow you at work, given that your current organization is good with that. You could start maybe a badminton class or a tennis class or a volunteerism with your mentor and the mentee being there as well. And in terms of the approach for the mentorship, this would be how it is are you going about with this? Is it that it is only going to be via Zoom or via Teams, or will you be meeting up face to face? And how often will you be doing that? So earlier I would have mentioned some structure, which is key to ensure that your mentorship runs smoothly. So some suggestions to have a well-structured mentorship are, firstly, meet at least once per month. Secondly, ensure that you document all of your goals. Start your first meeting by outlining your goals together with your mentor. As time goes by, these goals can be altered. You can remove some goals or you can add in some goals. Thirdly, create a schedule or a timeline in order for you to track the progress that you have made with your goals. This could be in the form of a Gantt chart or using Microsoft Project or a simple table, anything that works for you. And then lastly, for each mentorship meeting, revisit the initially outlined goals that you had. From this, you also need to note what you have done to work towards your goal and outline what it is you are going to be doing in the upcoming month. So in summary, mentorship is meant to be a mutually beneficial professional relationship. It is imperative for you to set your goals from the start and to update your progress and keep a track of this as you go along. Thirdly, the relationship between the mentor and the mentee must be both professional and respectful at all times. And then the last thing is structure is key for a successful mentorship. So I do have two other things that I want to touch on, but that is it for the official part of the presentation. So does anyone have any questions? The other two things that I will do is go through my mentorship experience with SPE, and then I have also outlined a mentorship plan template for you. So apart from these two things here, any questions on the content that was presented? Questions, anyone? If you're shy, you could feel free to type in the chat as well. I will read it and answer as best as possible.
Exactly. So this is a moment for Q&As. Do you have any questions? You can kindly unmute yourself or just show an emoji, raise up your hand, or call you up and ask your question gently. Or you can just type your question in the text box. We'll read it out clearly to Aliyah to answer you. So this is a moment of questions and answers. Just feel free.
I will also email the presentation to you guys so that you will have it to review if needed. Yes. So yes, Daniel, I will share.
Yeah. We're going to share it on the mentees and the mentorship page too as well, so that everyone can access the slides. So you're going to get the slide, rest assured.
Okay, so I'll move into the other part of the presentation, right?
All right, Aliyah.
Right. So you all see in the screen again, right? So I wanted to talk a bit about my mentorship experience with SPE. So as I would have mentioned, I was the president of the Society of Petroleum Engineers, University of the West Indies student chapter. So this was a role that was put upon me, but I took the responsibility for it because I wanted to make a good difference. I wanted to have a positive impact on the younger students around me. So during this experience, as a mentor myself, I would have learned so much and developed as a person. I would have gained leadership skills from leading this organization, from leading the SPE to success. It was the first time that we would have received the presidential award for the SPE student chapter. So that was something that I was very proud of. I think only a few of the chapters in the whole of SPE get that presidential award. So that was one of the major, well, outcomes that I would have had from this experience. So it was gaining leadership skills, being able to direct others and work within a team. This success would not have been possible if it is my team did not bond together well. And as a team, we came together, we would have successfully planned as well as executed numerous different events. We had an outreach program with some of the scouts within Trinidad. We basically exposed them to different information as well as practical parts of the oil and gas industry. So even seeing the youths, these were students who were in high school still, seeing them be able to engage as well as understand some of the more technical functions in the oil and gas industry, it was very, very rewarding. I also learned to manage my time well because I was also a student at the time. I was pursuing my master's. I was also working full-time, and then I was in charge of SPE. So it took a lot of time management skills and learning how to prioritize different tasks at different points to be able to successfully achieve all of this. So like I said earlier, the main thing for me with mentorship was being able to give back to students, being able to help others, and to maybe send them in a better direction than what they were headed before. Are there any questions that you want to ask me about my mentorship experience?
Hi, Alia.
Hi.
So how were you able to track your progress with your mentee, with your experience? What were you using to track your progress? And
Right.
would you say the mentee also had the success he or she was looking for?
Yes. So my mentee more or less wanted to know more about the oil and gas industry. So I would have set up some little practical experiments with them to sort of explain some of the more technical aspects of it. We would have gone through questions for job interviews as well as answers on how to tailor these best for them. So overall, the feedback that I would have received from the mentee, it was very positive, and they said that they did learn quite a lot from it, from the entire experience. So I would not have had one mentee. It was more of me mentoring a group of people, but everyone would have had a good experience. And the only thing that people said was 1 year was a bit too short for the program. They would have liked to extended it beyond that 1 year. So that is just something for you guys to keep in mind, right? Setting the average time of the mentorship. To answer your other question in terms of how I would have kept track of it, if no one has any other questions about the mentorship, I did create a plan to show you how to track your goals and how to document everything. So are there any further questions about my personal experience? Okay, if not, I will move on to the second part of the presentation, right? Okay.
Sure,
Can
Leah.
everyone can see the Excel spreadsheet?
Yes, we do.
Okay, great. So this here is something that I would have created. I did go online and look at different templates, but this is what I came up with. By no means do you have to use this and stick to this. You can use whatever is best for you. For example, if you would like to use a Word document, then you could do that, whatever is best for you. The reason why I like Excel is because you can have all of your you can track your progress and have all of your different updates on the same screen using different sheets, right? So what I did here was created sort of a month 1 and a month 2 plan. And this is going off of you meeting with your mentor once for the month. So you enter your name, your occupation, your email, your phone here, both the mentee as well as the mentor. You put in your meeting number as well as the date that you're having your meeting.
Hello, Alia.
Hi.
Hi. Can you kindly zoom into your Excel sheet?
Okay, sure.
Okay, sure. Awesome.
Okay, that's good there?
That's good there? That's good. That's good.
Okay, right. So you can make this sheet prettier, bold all of these things here and that sort of stuff. But this is just a dry template, more or less. So onto the action plan. I outlined the different parts here for your goals and I provided some examples. So for example, goal number 1, improve your interview skills. Goal number 2, you want to build your communication skills. You want to build your leadership skills. You want to build your confidence overall. And then lastly, you keep it general. You just want to learn a new skill because any learning experience is always to your benefit. You will gain some sort of new experience from just learning something new, right? So we have our goals, and then you have what are your plans to accomplish your goal, what is the progress made or what it is you have done, to try to accomplish your goal, and then what is your percent completion. So plans to accomplish your goal. So you have the goal number here, and then your plan. So for example, you have two plans on how to accomplish goal number 1. So the first one is conduct and compile interview questions as well as your answers in order to improve your interview skills. The progress you would have made, for example, would be you now started researching to compile your questions. So the percent completion on this would be 5%. In the next month, you would have probably gotten to the point where you have compiled your questions, so your percent completion could go up to about 50%. And then to complete this 100%, the progress made would be that you have both your questions as well as your answers outlined, right? So that is the sort of train of thought for the progress made. So this here would be for month 1, then I'll jump across to month 2. So month 2, you would update, your plan could remain the same and the progress made and the percent complete would alter, right? Everyone understands how it is the spreadsheet is working? Okay. Yeah, questions?
Yeah.
Okay, so you all understand, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Ali, I can check
Yes.
your direct message. I learned some people have sent some questions directly to you.
Okay, one moment. Let me switch back. So how do you deal with an unresponsive mentee? During the presentation, I would have said that it is the responsibility of the mentee to reach out to you as the mentor. So guys, you must remember to be very respectful towards your mentor. At the end of the day, they are giving you their time, they are volunteering to help you out in some way. So in terms of how to deal with an unresponsive mentee, I would say check up on them once or twice, find out, if anything has happened in their personal life or if there is anything going on with them right now that prevents them from reaching out to you. For example, when you're a student during exam time, you probably will not have as much time to devote towards your mentorship. However, as the mentee, you are responsible for letting your mentor know that, listen, I am writing exams right now, so I won't be able to make this meeting. So in terms of you as the mentor dealing with an unresponsive mentee, I would say just ask them what is going on. But after that, it is not your responsibility to be chasing down someone to offer your services to them, if it is, you get what I mean. If they are unresponsive, then you reach out to whoever is in charge of your mentorship program. You let them know that you have tried reaching out to your mentee and they are being unresponsive, and they will be able to go from there. Does that answer your question properly, Stephen?
Yes, it does. Thank you very much.
Okay, no problem. Okay, so back to this here. I laid out some more plans to accomplish your first goal, which would be the second plan would be to have your mentor conduct a mock interview with you. So this would be basically where your mentor sits and acts as the interviewing panel, and they ask you questions and you answer them. This definitely prepares you properly to ace your job interviews, etc. It gives you a little bit of an edge above the other candidates because you would have experience in a professional setting for an interview. So the progress made, for example, could be you schedule a date with your mentor for that. And right now you're just preparing and waiting to have that interview with them. A second goal to build your communication skills would be volunteering at an organization. This could be a home for the aged, it could be an orphanage, it could be within your own religious organization. The main thing with communication is you putting yourself out there and interacting with people. So once you put yourself in that position and you be brave and you go out there and you talk to people, you will improve your communication skills. So an example of the progress made could be that you aim to begin volunteering next week, you put in your dates and you put in your percent completion. Another way to build your communication skills is to join a society or to join a club. For example, if it is you go to join a tennis club, you have to interact with the person that you're playing with. So that in itself would build communication skills. So the progress made could be, for example, that you joined XYZ society and you, just by joining, you complete 10%. Now, with your goal, although the goal says to join, it's not just about joining. When you join something, you make a commitment. So the aim is for you to not only join, but to stay on and to remain committed to going to a society or club events, right? So the third one, building leadership skills. So a way to do this is to volunteer to be on a committee for a society, or volunteer to run an event within your religious organization, within your club, any sort of thing like that. So the progress made would be that you're currently running for XYZ position on committee and elections are going to be held next week, and you put in your dates and you put in your percent complete. Then building confidence, which for me was one of the most challenging things to do. So, because I do tend to be a bit shy, which you're probably wondering, how am I presenting in front of all of these people right now? But this would have happened. I would have reached here through my mentorship and through being a mentor as well as being a mentee. So to accomplish this goal and build your confidence, you could give a presentation on a topic to your mentor. By presenting to other people, you do sort of gain confidence. Whatever nerves you may have, you can practice with your mentor and sort of iron out those nerves and whatever shyness you may have. And each mentor would have their own tips and tricks on how it is you can go about giving your presentations and being confident and being strong. So the progress you can make with that would be, say you choose a topic to present on, which is 5% completed. And then in the upcoming months, you would work on creating your presentation and then doing the actual presentation, at which you would be 100% complete. Then the last goal would be learning a new skill. So I said, okay, what is a skill you could learn? You could start art classes. Although, yes, you might just sit down and be painting, it develops your critical thinking. It also expands your imagination and develops your creative side. So any sort of skill that you do would have its own benefits. So that was benefits of, say, joining an art class, joining a badminton or a football class. You would be developing a skill, you would keep your health, you will keep physically as well as mentally healthy and stuff like that. So each one, whatever skill you are interested in, you go after that and you commit it and you will learn something from it. So the progress made would be, say today, as it's the first meeting, you started your arts class and that is 10% complete. So once you have outlined what your plans to accomplish your goal are and what progress you have made currently, you set your date for your next meeting. So you and your mentor will go through and see what date both of you are available and when to meet. It is very important that you keep to your schedule. Once more, as the mentee, you will be responsible for ensuring that your mentor is still free. So maybe 2 or 3 days in advance of your next meeting, you should email or you can call or just contact your mentor and ensure that they are still free to meet with you. Right. So you had your plans, what it is you're going to do to accomplish your goal, what progress you have made. You set your meeting for your next date, and now you need to outline what are your deliverables for your next meeting. That is what it is you need to accomplish before your next meeting. So using the same example of goal number 1, your plan is to conduct and compile your interview questions as well as your answers. Your progress made is that research has begun to compile the questions. Your deliverables for the next meeting would be some of the interview questions and responses that you have drafted out so far. It does not have to be all. It does not have to be that you completed this task all at once, but you need to show that you are working on your goal and that you are making progress. Another deliverable would be summarizing what your volunteering experience has been thus far. And this comes into goal number 2 here. So that is this one that I'm highlighting. So you summarize what your volunteering experience has been thus far. When I was president of the SPE, for each and every event that we had, I would write out an entire essay or a page or two outlining exactly what we would have done in the event. And that would have helped me to track and to see exactly every single thing that I would have done and that I am doing to accomplish my goal. So this is the template that I would have come up with. So we do it on a month-to-month basis, or if it is a meeting twice for the month, then you could alter this to suit. But the point of this is that you are tracking your goals. You are going in great detail on the progress that you have made, as well as what it is you're aiming to do for the next meeting. Like I said, you can take this and you can fix it to how it is you would like, what it is you would like to see. You could also have a separate Word document outlining more details of what it is you have done, and you could link that to this sheet here. Now, this sheet is meant to be shared between both the mentee as the mentor, so that, say, you yourself as the mentee want to see how much progress you have made, you can go in and you are responsible for filling out all of this information here, not the mentor. Your mentor now could go in and review this and see just how fast you're making progress. If it is, you need to sit back and sort of reassess some of your goals and stuff like that. I would have mentioned before that these goals here can alter. You could simply add in a cell. You could increase, decrease, whatever it is you want. You could put in more parts of it. It all depends on what it is, what you want to do then. So that is it for the presentation on a whole. I see I have a couple more questions. So, okay, I see some from Daniel. Sorry if I'm pronouncing the names wrong, but right. So you say that my ideas and goals are not driving towards oil and gas experience. So this here is just a general example. You can be as specific. During the presentation, I would have emphasized that the mentorship experience is what you are aiming to get out of it. Now, although the goals that I have outlined are general, all of this is helping you. All of this is essential for you to build a career. So you can definitely have some goals be specific towards oil and gas experience, but at the same time, you need to develop your soft skills so that when you are put into a role or a position or you get your dream job, you can be successful. So it all depends on what you want. It does not have to be the goals that I have outlined. Like I said, this was just me giving an example of how to use the spreadsheet. It can be whatever it is you want to do. And this would be a decision. You make your own goals, and then your mentor in turn will say, okay, we can realistically achieve this goal. For example, if your goal is at the end of this mentorship program, you want to be a drilling engineer. That is a bit far-fetched. Your mentor may not be able to put you in a position for you to become a drilling engineer. However, if you have interview experience via your mentor, if you have developed your communication skills, your leadership skills, you will be a step closer to getting your goal of becoming a drilling engineer. If you sort of understand how it is I'm trying to relate both of them. So Daniel, does that answer your question? Do you have any follow-up questions? Daniel, are you still there? Okay. Lovely. Thank you for the feedback. Okay, now from Esther. How does one start a conversation with his or her mentor? So I am assuming at the start of your mentorship program, you will be assigned a mentor. This would have to come from SPE Ghana. I'm not sure how it is they are going about setting up the mentorship program, but at least from the start, you will have the contact of your mentor. Send them an email, I would say. Ask them when they are free to meet, and you set up that meeting. That meeting can be face-to-face. COVID restrictions must be observed, obviously, or it can be a simple Teams meeting or a Zoom meeting. I don't know if Paul or if Gideon can answer this question a bit better, seeing as they will be in charge of the program. Gideon?
Hello, Alia.
Hi. So one of the questions was how to start a conversation with your mentor.
Okay, I think the best is to first email your mentor and then find when he or she is free, and then you schedule a meeting with he or she. I think that would be the best way. Then you meet
Okay,
your mentor probably.
the mentees will be given the contact information of their mentors, so they can contact them and reach out to them, right?
Exactly, you are right.
Okay, great. So Esther, does that answer your question?
Come again, Alia.
Does that answer your question, Esther?
It seems your line was fluctuating. I couldn't get you. Can you come again?
Does
Hello,
that
Alia.
answer
Can you hear
Esther's
me?
question? Are you hearing me? Okay, can you guys still hear me? I'm not sure what's happening. I still have connectivity.
Yes, I can, Alia.
We can hear you.
Okay. All right, so that is it for the presentation. I will send across the Excel templates as well as the presentation. I will also drop my email address in the chat in case anyone wants to reach out to me. You can feel free to do so. I will do my best to help. I'm not a professional mentor, but I will do my best to help. The main thing that I would like to leave with all of you is that being a mentor and being a mentee is a very big responsibility. You as the mentor are in a position to actually help someone and help change someone's future for the better. So pay close attention to that and be as serious. Treat this seriously as a real commitment from you. Now, on your mentee's side, someone is giving up their time to help you. This is something that is voluntary. So take the opportunity and go with it. Make the most out of it. Be as receptive and as responsive as you can, and really give it your 100% and put your best foot forward. Yes, Francis, you have a question.
Yes. I want to ask that. Did you had the opportunity, maybe with your mentor, to explore the field work, like to go on a
field visit, like a site visit, say on a drilling rig?
Pardon me?
Francis, could you type your question in the chat? I'm not hearing you.
Okay, okay.
Yes. In the meantime, while Francis is typing his question, I have another question here. From my experience, how should female mentees and male mentors be handled? This is a very professional relationship. You need to know what your boundaries are. It is to remain professional at all times. In the event that you are uncomfortable, speak to your mentor. Let them know that you are not comfortable with whatever conversation is being had or what the behaviors are. And if they do not change their behaviors, or if they do not respond with a response that you are looking forward to, then report it to someone higher up. Whoever is in charge of the mentorship program, you reach out to them. I would say do not publicize anything. Simply send an email or have a personal call with whoever is in charge of the program and let them know what your concerns are. In every single thing that you do as a mentor as well as a mentee, you need to maintain respect for one another. Do not do something, do not put another person in an uncomfortable situation that you would not like to be in. If it is you are uncomfortable, say you are a male and you're not comfortable having a female mentor or having a female mentee, you reach out to your mentorship team and you tell them that you would prefer to have someone who is male and vice versa. If you would prefer as a female to mentor a young male, then you could go ahead and request that as well. The key thing is to be respectful and do not be afraid to speak up if it is you are feeling uncomfortable. And this is for both the boys as well as the girls, right? Don't be uncomfortable speaking up and saying, listen, I don't like the way things are going. So does that answer your question? HP 250G Savat, you didn't leave your name. Okay, lovely. Okay, so Francis has asked if it is appropriate to go on a field trip with your mentor. So this depends on your mentor. For example, if me as a worker in my current company, if I am to take anyone else, anyone external on site, I need to get permission from my boss, from my supervisor. You would need to do health and safety orientation if you are going on any field trip. This must be something that is professional, a legitimate field trip, to say a well site, you're going out there for your field trip. You need to ensure that your mentor has had permission. You need to ensure that you do some health and safety orientation. You work with all of your proper protective equipment, all of your PPE. And the main thing is to ensure that your mentor's company or organization or whoever it is they are working with, they know that you are going to be on their premises and they have agreed to you being there. So that is a question for your mentor to take upon themselves. In any event, when you are going out on any field trip, when you are going anywhere, ensure that you have the permission from your company, because you can be liable to, say, for example, if God forbids and the mentee gets harmed while out there. As the mentor, that is your responsibility. That now falls on your company, so you're putting your company in danger, especially if it is the company was unaware. So do not cut any corners at all. Ensure that you take the correct route in all that you are doing before you deal with that. So in terms of field trips, great if your mentor can arrange a field trip for you. Just ensure that the company or that whoever is in charge of the site knows that you are coming and has approved it, right? Okay. All right, Francis. Another question from you. Secondly, you said a mentor is not responsible for counseling. Can you expand on that? So what I mean by this is, say you're having a bad mental health day that does not relate to schoolwork or does not relate to a current job. It is not the responsibility of your mentor to give you guidance. They are not a professional. They are not equipped to give you any sort of advice to deal with your personal issues. You should leave that to a real professional or someone that you trust on a personal level. Your mentor is there to help you professionally. Yes, they can offer you advice and give you guidance in terms of career and say you're having a bad day at school. Now that is different. If you're having a bad day at school, or if it is you're experiencing some challenges, say in a group project, that is when you talk to your mentor. If it is you're going through a bad breakup, that is not when you talk to your mentor. That is unprofessional and it is not related to the mentorship program. Does that answer your question, Francis? Both of the questions, the field trip one as well as the counseling. Is that good?
Yes, please, madam.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
No problem at all. Okay, so Ernest has asked, can you have a mentor without him or her knowing you? Most of the times that is the case. You will not know your mentor from beforehand. And that's what this is about. This is about you building a professional relationship with your mentor and your mentee. So in some cases, you might not know the person. If you're lucky and you do know the person, then that's great. You will have a better experience that way because you'll be more comfortable. But it does not necessarily mean that you have to know your person. When you are assigned your mentor, you will reach out to them via email, send them a polite email introducing yourself, asking them when they are available to meet with you. And from there, you do your introductions, you start getting to know your mentor professionally. And from there, you take your mentorship experience. So it's not necessary, Ernest. Any other questions? And if you guys do have any questions regarding mentorship, reach out to your mentorship planning committee, right? They are the ones who are in charge of the mentorship program. They will be able to guide you better. So if there are no more questions, I just saw one.
Hello.
Yes,
All right, Patricia, you have a question.
Yes.
A quick one. Supposing, let's say I'm working on a project and then my mentor is working in that kind of field related to the project I'm working on. And then I need probably a sample data to support my work. Is it okay for me to ask for help, or the rules or the guidelines for the mentorship it is not required?
That depends on your mentor. I would say it's no problem to ask. There is no harm in asking at all. However, with things like data, that is sensitive company information. So similar to the field trip, your mentor will need to get permission from their company to allow you to use their data. So if it is you do ask and your mentor says yes, do try to get written approval from the company stating that you can use their data. And if you need any sort of knowledge, that's what your mentor is there for. If you need guidance on your project, that is fine. Guidance in terms of anything is fine. That is what the program is about. But what it is not about is your mentor completing an entire project for you, or a mentor sitting down and typing up, say, your laboratory experiments or your thesis or your dissertation. Your mentor is not there for that. You reach out, you get the knowledge from your mentor, and you take that information and you use it for whatever it is you need it for. Is that fine, Patricia? Okay, I'll assume that was good. Francis asked, how do we find our university chapters? So The easiest thing to do is reach out to your university and find out from them. You could reach out to administration and find out if there is a Society of Petroleum student chapter. If there is not, you can set up one. It's a bit of a process. I think one of your lecturers will have to set it up, but there are rules and guidelines for that on the SPE website. So another thing to mention is that the SPE website has a wealth of information on how to, they have their own separate mentorship program. So Vanessa, this probably answers your question as well. So SPE has their body of mentors. You can apply to be a mentor or you can apply to be a mentee. But what you don't want to do is apply to be a mentee to about 5 different people and have numerous different goals and sort of confuse yourself. I would say stick to one at a time. At the end of the mentorship program, I'm not sure how long this program is for. Maybe Gideon could answer that. Gideon, what is the duration of this program, the mentorship for Ghana?
All right, it's almost the same here in Ghana as well. All universities have their own chapters. So we have University of Maths and Technology, SPE student chapter, same to KNEST, UNE, and then Legon. So Francis, I don't know which school you are, which university are you? You just get into contact with your student chapter leader, they'll let you know everything. So it's just the same thing. Every university in Ghana that is related to oil and gas or petroleum engineering, natural gas, we have ST chapters for each. So you just get to know your class reps or any executives around to channel you to the right people and then just get in contact with them. That's all.
Gideon, someone else wanted to know how long the mentorship program is. Vanessa asked that question.
Okay, so it's a 2 cohort. This is the first cohort, and it's going to last for the first 6 months, 3 to 6 months. Then after that, to enroll. So for any other further details will be placed on the mentees page, and then just as giving the contact of your mentors or the mentees, will reach your mentor, and then your mentor will take it up from there. But the period for the first cohort is 3 to 6 months.
Okay, are there any further questions for me?
All right. So I think time is elapsing and fast spent with 11 minutes gone past 5, 17 hours. So we want to end it up here. And thanks so much to Aliyah. Thanks so much to everyone that joined. We want to give the forum to our mentorship committee chair, Akosia Jan Pando, to give something special to all of us. So, closing remarks. Akosia, over to you.
Okay, thank you, Gideon. We just want to say thank you to everybody and to you, Aliyah, for honoring our invitation. We are really grateful for sharing your insights and giving us your experiences, even to sharing your slides and then the sheet you've created yourself. It's a pleasure that we get to learn from that. I've personally benefited from it. I've put a few things down that I'm looking forward to implementing. And I know each person who joined the call or anybody who will listen to the recording later, both mentors and mentees alike, would also learn something. And then we would also implement it in our Ghana chapter as well. So thank you for also making your contacts available. We will surely reach out to you if there are any challenges or we need any kind of support. And we're extremely grateful. And thanks to everybody. Thanks to Gideon as well, to all the organizers of the event as well. We're truly grateful. Okay, thanks, Gideon. Over to you.
You're welcome, Akos. And to add it up, the only announcement is that we're going to have another session that is allocated only for the mentees and other for the mentors too as well. So to all the mentees, kindly anticipate for another session, training session that is going to be allocated to only the mentees. And then another one too is only for the mentors. And that's going to take probably next weekend. So anticipate for that too as well. Thanks to everyone. If there's nothing more from any other person, then we'll just drop the curtains down and we are out of here. Okay. I think we are good to go. Thank you, Aliyah. Thank you to our committee members. Thanks to SPE Ghana session. Thank you to SPE University of West Indies. Bye-bye to everyone. Have a good evening. See you another time.